Osmond.
Okay, hold up. I just have to say one thing. That was very unfair of you for me to follow that segment because now I'm starving.
Yeah. Honestly, Donny, you'll be glad you didn't have to eat some of it. Donny, how's it going in pantomime? Because this is your first time doing panto, isn't it? Are you enjoying it?
I'm having the time of my life. First of all, working with such a great cast, Julian Clary and Nigel Havers and Paul Zerdin and Gary Wilmot. Those four guys are unbelievable. But particularly working right there, that picture right there, we do a bit together, Julian and I laugh my head off because yes, we have a script, but he comes out with one-liners that it changes all the time. It is hilarious. Last night, it was unbelievable. It was my birthday last night, and the audience starts breaking out into happy birthday. Angela Weber is sitting right down there in the center, and the place just goes crazy. And I couldn't have asked for a better celebration. Yeah. And then Julian comes out, and I just die laughing. It is so much fun.
Oh, it sounds like it, but you had a bit of a accident, didn't you, in the very first show? You injured yourself. What happened there?
It was a freak accident because I went to my doctor. He said, Donny, you got a spine like a teenager. But I bent over and twisted. It was just a perfect storm. I felt it pop, and oh my goodness, the pain. But I'm back on and enjoying every second of it.
How did you carry on then whilst you'd hurt yourself in the performance?
2 shows. Wow. Yeah, it happened the first show, and I did the rest of the first show, and also the second show that evening. And it's called show business. You just grit your teeth and bear it.
Yeah. And why have you decided to do panto now? What made you fancy it?
Well, Michael Harrison, my producer, what an amazing producer. He calls me up, and I said, okay, this is my break, Michael, because I've got a residency in Las Vegas, and it's a big show. I said, I just need a break. And he says, Donny, I don't take no for an answer. And he twisted my arm, and I said, my wife and I discussed, I said, let's do it. And boy, am I glad I made that decision because it is so much fun.
How does Pantoland compare to Vegas?
Oh, it's completely different because it's British humor. Now, I understand. I get British humor. And some Americans, or most Americans, they probably wouldn't understand it. But I'm dying laughing. For instance, I could go back to my dressing room and wait for my part to come back on stage. I stay in the wings and I watch it every night, every segment, because I'm enjoying it so much. It's just one huge variety show.
Yeah. Have your family seen it yet, or are they going to be coming to watch it?
Well, they've seen some things on YouTube. So, people have videoed a couple things here and there. And I've shown my grandkids my costumes and stuff. They said, oh, my grandpa, this is fantastic. So I wish they could see this live.
Yeah, and you're obviously going to be in London, aren't you, over Christmas? So do you know what you're going to be doing yet? Because there's talk of you joining Julian Clary.
Well, yeah, that's what he's talking about. But I think I'm going to be on FaceTime most of the day, talking to all of my kids and my grandkids, my wife and everything. So that's probably what Christmas is going to be. But it's okay because I'm with my Panto family this year.
Yeah, and I bet they feel like family now. Obviously, Donny, we've all known and loved you since you were a kid. How have you managed to just, keep going and stay grounded in life when you've been famous since you were little?
Well, first of all, thank you for the compliment. It's called reinvention. You always have to, you can't rest on your laurels. You constantly have to reinvent yourself. For instance, this new album. I have to correct you, by the way. You said at the beginning, over 30 albums. This is actually my 65th album.
Wow!
And, yeah.
Well, that's over 30, but I'll give you that's a few more over.
Yeah, we'll double your number.
Yeah.
But the new single, Let's All Dance, I actually do in Panto. Part of the medley. Start with Crazy Horses, Love Me for a Reason, Let Me In, and I finish it up with Let's All Dance. And but this album, I have never worked harder on an album in my life. I wrote well over 40 songs and narrowed it down to the 12 on this album. Yeah. And I know this sounds like a promotional line, but this is definitely my favorite album out of all 65.
Well, very much look forward to hearing it. And I've mentioned in the past about your friendship with Michael Jackson and how that's influenced how you kept grounded as well. Can you just explain that to us?
Well, how I kept grounded by Michael's example is a little bit of a misnomer because I hang on to my memories of Mike and myself when we first met at 13. And obviously, we all know it was such a sad ending because he just went off on a tangent. And I realized, you can't surround yourself with what I call yes people. I surround myself with real people. My family, they're honest with me. And I do my own chores at home. I take my own trash out, all that kind of stuff. I don't do the star thing. But when I'm on stage, watch out. And I learned that from Elvis. When I met Elvis for the first time, he was just a monster on stage. But backstage, when he introduced, so he walks into the dressing room, everybody, I'm Elvis, and he really talked like that too. And I thought he didn't need to introduce himself, but he's just a real person. And that's why I try to pattern my life after.
Yeah.
And just be, down to earth, be a real person.
Yeah, well, it's clearly worked, Donny, and it is lovely to chat to you. Put your hands together for Donny Osmond! And you can